Триває третій рік повномасштабного вторгнення Росії до України, і Росія продовжує щодня вбивати цивільних, військових, а також здійснює страшний злочин, викрадає українських дітей. І ми сьогодні в українській книгарні Кутаума на вулиці Кіплінг в Торонто на презентації книжки канадської письменниці Марші Форчук-Скрипух. Книжка називається «Kidnapped from Ukraine under attack».
Marsha has a Master of Library Science degree and worked as a librarian for the federal government before she began writing books. She considers herself a librarian detective.
І я маю велику нагоду і велику шану сьогодні спілкуватися із письменницею. So it's my pleasure to be here with you, and good evening, and I'm really pleased to be here at the event.
And I am so pleased to be here too. It's wonderful to see everybody here and to introduce my new book.
Thank you. And from the time that the Russian invasion started in Ukraine, it is officially informed that more than 20,000 Ukrainian children were kidnapped from Ukraine, and it's really a tragedy to hear that Ukrainian children are being kidnapped like every day. Ukraine trying to do as much as the country could, but
yes,
we understand that the situation is really very bad. So
it's very dire. Yes.
Yeah. So could you please just highlight the main, I would say, the main topics that are highlighted in this book?
So, Kidnapped from Ukraine. This is book one of a trilogy. And it follows two twins, 12-year-old twins, and the one in this book, Daria, is kidnapped by Russia, and so she's brainwashed. Well, they attempt to brainwash her. She's placed in a Russian home. She is rescued, but you know, it's actually Putin brags about saving 700,000 Ukrainian children. They feel when they're reading my book that they're living through the war, because they are. They just don't know it yet. We know that. So, I mean, it's even more dire than we can even comprehend what's going on. And it's only been a few hundred who have been rescued, because how do you even rescue during a war? And so in this book, even the way that she is rescued in the book is as much as I, as an author, would want to share with readers, because the war is ongoing. So writing a book like this about a war that is ongoing, I have the responsibility to illuminate without putting people in danger.
So I would love to know, I get that you heard like a lot of stories, maybe from parents, maybe from just Ukrainian ordinary people who knew that children that were kidnapped by Russian. So could you just share a little on this?
Yes, I have heard from a lot of people one-on-one, but I have not used anybody's personal stories in this book because they're not mine to tell. So the war is still going on, and people who are living through it now have a right to their own story. So what I used for mine, I used the emotion of what people have told me, the situations, but not their personal stories. So what I used was testimony, because Putin has been charged with war crimes. So there's a lot of witness testimony that is in the public domain that I can use. There are also other interviews that have been in newspapers and other public accounts that people have shared because they want to, and they have shared it widely. And so this is what I used as my research. But anything that someone told me privately or one-to-one, even if they said you can put it in your book, it's not my right to. That's all there is to it. I'm not living through it. I'm trying to make sure that the general public understands what's going on, but at the same time, I need to honor and respect people who are going through it right now. And I'm just not going to break that barrier.
I was wondering what was the main message from you as an author to your audience, to the people who will be reading this book?
My main message is that Ukrainians are just like everybody else. We are human. And so, I'm sorry, people, especially Americans and Canadians too, who read this book, I want a kid to read this book and think that a war came to his house. I want a parent to read this book, a parent in New York, a parent in Boston, read this book and think of what it would be like if their bedroom windows started shaking because a bomb hit their building. That's what I did in this book. And so even the language in this book is different than the language in other of my books, because there is more Ukrainianness to the language that I chose. This book is very modern, but then again, Ukraine is very modern. And so if we translated it exactly into English, it wouldn't sound quaint. And so it is very modern. And the people in here are sophisticated, modern, intelligent, everything that Ukrainians are, as are other people. And so I just want people to read and understand what it would be like for them to be in this situation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and good luck with the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful presentation. And I have a little gift for you. This is our Ukrainian embroidered heart for Kutauma. So with the date and with today's presentation.
Wow.
So, that's beautiful.